Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. We love sitting down with some of our favorite nonprofits, as well as the students that they support right here in the Park City community. And of course, the Park City Education Foundation is one of the all-time greats, joined by our friend Jen Billow. And she brought two students from the Park City High School robotics team. I have Slade Schemmer and Jared Jones. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for being here. So Jen, let me start with you.
Yeah.
Park City Education Foundation, for those who may not know the impact it has on the community, just give us a brief summary about the role you all play.
Sure. I mean, we've been around 30 years and we're funding things to go beyond what public education can provide. So, you know, taxes are never enough, right? And no one wants to pay more taxes, right? So this year we're infusing $1.5 million back into the schools.
Let's just say $1.5 million back into the public schools.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's about 20% of the district's discretionary budget. So if the district has about $5 or $6 million to spend beyond teacher salaries and books and supplies and the things they have to fund, there's about $6 million left. So we're funding $1.5 million of that, which is a great feeling, and we can only do it because of the donors and the community and the parents, community members, businesses. They're so generous and believe in the importance of public schools. And so it's great because we have fantastic district up here. It's nearly 100 programs, with robotics being one of our big investments. So it's very gratifying.
Well, let's talk about where the money goes, because this is from preschool to first generation college. I mean, you do the full gamut of what our students in the community need. First off with the elementary visual arts, which I just hold near and dear to my heart. And what a fantastic program.
You know, it really is. And sadly, elementary art was cut from the public education budget years ago in Utah, so there's absolutely no funding for elementary art. Which seems amazing when you think of
I literally,
kids in
when
school.
you told me that, I just couldn't quite get it.
It is. It's really sad. And so the schools had provided, they started doing the Masterpieces in Art program, and that was a fully volunteer-run program. And so it waxed and waned depending on who your volunteers were each year, right? And so several years ago, McPolin asked for a grant for a part-time art specialist. And that was so successful that then Trailside did it, and then Parley's Park did it. And then the Kimball, we got together and said, let's do this together and fund, you know, a professional art program. And so we're in our 4th year of EVA, the Elementary Visual Art Program. For us, it's about a $90,000 a year program. We pay the part-time art specialist salaries. The Kimball supplies this amazing curriculum, so kids are learning about artists, you know, from Picasso to, you know, Dr. Seuss actually was an amazing artist, and they're doing his art this month for Read Across America.
Well, and I think so many times, especially now, you sort of catch yourself saying, do we really need to explain why this is important or why this matters? You know, and it's just, you think of small children in the way that they communicate, and the way that they can express themselves, and building their self-confidence, and all of these things we take for granted, I just assumed would be there. But because of the Ed Foundation, now it is.
Right, totally. And art does teach kids things. You know, we get so focused sometimes on math and language arts because that's what we're tested upon. But arts teaches kids to solve problems in a different way, and to look at things in a different way. And there are those kids where math and language arts maybe aren't their strong point, but they can really excel in visual art. So we love that. We are starting to hear stories where in the summer, you know, when kids are going on vacations with their parents, they're bringing their sketchbooks to the museums they visit. We had one girl, they were studying Frank Lloyd Wright, so each month is a specific artist, and she did a drawing of a stained glass window in his style. She sent it to her grandmother, who actually is a stained glass artist, and she rendered her artwork in stained glass and sent it back. So more and more of these stories are coming out, and we love hearing them.
I love that. And you know, you talked about how people tend to focus on the curriculums that you're tested on. Right. But realistically, the more that we learn about how, you know, students learn, you see how integrated these subjects are. As a musician, I know your daughter is a musician as well, how closely that's related to math, how closely musicianship is related to coding even. And that's something else that you're bringing to the schools.
Right, so this is a brand new program. We piloted it in the 1st grade last year. All the 1st graders got a coding class about every other week. We are doing it K through 3 this year, so we're fully—
K through 3,
coding. I know. And you're thinking, can a kindergartner code? So you're not writing HTML code. It's called block-based programming, and it's on iPads, and it's almost like a video game. So you're programming with these blocks. So, you know, go left, go right, jump
It's
through
just
spaces.
teaching the mind how to work. We have some photos of these
Yes.
kids that we were just showing,
Yes.
literally learning the foundation and the building blocks
Yes.
of coding.
Yes, and it's new, and a lot of folks are like, why coding? Coding is actually a bigger language than English now. It is the biggest language in the world, and you have to look at it really as a language. Also coding, you have to work in groups, you have to collaborate. I'm sure these guys will talk about that in a minute. You have to problem solve, and you don't, like in art, we say you never make mistakes. Same thing in coding, you debug. So if something doesn't go right, you don't get frustrated, you go back and you figure out the path and you debug it and figure out what went wrong. And teachers are seeing this translate into their other classes. So
I was going to say, that's just a life lesson.
it's a
right?
total life lesson. This is why we love coding. So there are some site visits coming up. There's 2 today, but in April, and they're on our Facebook page. There will be site visits at Parley's, Trailside, and McPolin, I believe. And so parents can sign up. We have a Sign Up Genius. You can go to our Facebook page and sign up to watch these coding classes in action, because I think it's a little hard for us adults to wrap our mind
yes,
around it.
I think that's such a smart idea to
Yeah.
just bring it to the forefront of the parents, because you see a
Yes.
kindergartner coding,
Yes.
but when you actually see them on their little iPads and
Yes.
doing their little blog, it works.
And
It
they're
makes
having a great
sense.
time. I mean, we're hearing that this is like their favorite
favorite
specialist
part of
class.
school.
Totally.
Thank
and
you, Park City Education Foundation.
and our donors, because that is right now it's fully funded
That's
by
who's
private
paying for these
donations.
opportunities. So let's switch gears to robotics,
Yes.
to Jared and Slade, because I think I undersold the intro. I'm sitting down with World Championship. They are actually, this is a first for Park City. We've got some photos of you guys. Let's talk about the robotics team, because this is something else new to Park City.
It is. I'm going to let these guys talk in a sec, but just we have been funding robotics for about 5 years now, and they are the first team in Utah to ever go to Worlds, I believe, and that's all I'm going to say.
First team in Utah to ever go to Worlds. So
Yes.
Jared, you're a senior. Slade, you're a freshman, right?
I'm an 8th grader.
Oh, you're an 8th grader? Oh
Yes.
my God, really? Okay. That's amazing. So Worlds of Robotics. Tell me a little bit, for those of our audience who are watching that may be not familiar at all with what a robotics team is and what you guys do. Give us just a little bit of a summary.
So we participate in a program called the First Tech Challenge, and it's kind of like a game. So when we go to robotics competitions, there are matches that last about 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
And each time or each year, the game changes, and you can score points in various ways.
All right.
So.
And so it's like programming, and you're actually building.
Designing and
You're designing.
It takes a lot of like teamwork to
Of
build
course.
a robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to build a robot, I would assume there's a lot of collaboration that has to
Yeah.
go into it, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of discussion. So 8th grade, what got you so into robotics?
Well, my friends were talking about it at school at lunch one day, and they're like, "Hey, Slade, do you want to come with us to the robotics thing?" And I'm like, "Sure." So I go. I went sometime in this previous fall, and on the first day I got hooked. So.
See,
Yeah.
I love hearing that when somebody tries something for the first time and it just matches and you just get hooked and you get passionate about it. So because of the donors and the Park City Education Foundation, the resources they provide, what have you been able to learn just from first time going to now Worlds?
Well, I've been able to learn a lot from teammates like Jared and Andrew and Jaden, and they are great mentors, and they've taught me everything I know about robotics. So.
I love that. They're great mentors, right? Like that's just.
They are. I think the thing that's amazing about robotics, so first of all, the robot is, it's built from scratch. So these guys are building it from scratch, and this team has been together. Well, we have pictures going back about 5 years, and you can see the first robot. It kind of reminds me of not Tinker Toys, but the metal version of that.
Okay.
So if you're like me, a total neophyte. So they're working, and then they're also coding and programming.
Jared just gives a little laugh.
I know, he's like Tinker Toys, ha 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 ha. And so they're building it and they're programming it, and in these matches, so you have a task. So I don't know if you showed the picture already, but the task was having your robot get to this ball and then get the ball up into, not a hoop, but so it's this incredible task, and your robot has to work, and you have to work together to do it, and your parts break. They're also machining the parts at the high
that's
school.
just it. This is like an erector set on steroids.
An erector set, that's
right?
what it is.
I
Yes.
just can't even fathom being able to put something like this together, and you're doing it as a team, and you're collaborating, and I love that. When things go wrong, you debug or you rebuild, and it's true. It's life lessons that you guys are going to have with you forever. And as a senior, you've obviously been doing this for a long time. Is this something that you're passionate enough about to see into the future?
Yeah. So I'm the programmer on the team, and I am looking into going to college and having a career in computer science, programming of some sort. So I think this is definitely
yeah, I can see where that would work for you. What was it like? What was the feeling when you knew you were going to Worlds?
It was pretty exciting. Last year we made it really close, but we lost by like 1 point, which was really tough.
Sure.
And now this year to actually have made it, that's
by 1 point to
really
now
good.
senior year, you get to be there. That is so
Yeah.
exciting. Well, congratulations to both of you. What an inspiration. I mean, you talk about a mentor with Jared, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to watch you today and think about what mentors you guys can be, an inspiration to expand this program. And of course, Jen, to the Ed Foundation for finding the funding and putting in the effort and the energy to make it all happen. Congrats to you both, and come back and tell us how it went.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break here on the Mountain Morning Show and wrap up our live second hour right here on Park City Television.